So you're thinking of moving from California to Oklahoma. Well, the good news is you're not alone. In the past couple months, I have worked with multiple families who have made the move from California to Oklahoma. I've talked to even more people who are thinking about making that move. The most watched video on my channel right now is one about moving from California to Oklahoma. Since making that video, I feel like I've had a lot more experience working with those people from California, having those conversations. What do you like? And so I want to give you 10 reasons of why you might want to move from California to Oklahoma. And let me preface this, not everybody wants to move to Oklahoma. That's okay. But there's a good chunk of people who don't want to live in California anymore, and they see that it makes sense for them to move to Oklahoma. My name is Kinsley Hauser. I'm a local realtor here in Oklahoma City, EDMOND metro area, and I love getting to work with people every single day, many people from California, and helping them find their Oklahoma homes. Feel free to reach out to me. You can give me a call, text, email, you can send me a DM or schedule a Google Meet, and I would love just to be able to connect with you and potentially help you on your move. So like I said, in this video, I want to help you answer the question, should I move to Oklahoma if I'm moving from California? And again, I want to give you 10 reasons why I hear people are moving. When I talk to people who have moved, what are the things that you like? What are the things that are really big pros for you in Oklahoma? And wait until the end, because that's going to be by far the most popular number one answer that I hear when I'm talking to people about why they're making that move. Number one is kind of the slower pace of life. I feel like Oklahoma kind of has that slower country living lifestyle. I wouldn't say that it's country, but if you kind of know what I mean, just that slower pace, not necessarily feeling like you have to go, go, go. Now, there are people that live here that have those lifestyles and they go, go, go. But I feel like as a whole, the environment, the atmosphere doesn't necessarily lend to that the way that it might in California. So overall, I think a slower pace of life, kind of not feeling the rush, not feeling the hustle, and just being able to really enjoy the small things, I think is easier here than maybe in California in some of those bigger cities. Number two is the people. I hear people all of the time say that their biggest pro for Oklahoma is the people and the friendliness of everybody. And when you're talking to people, meeting people in the stores, in the gyms, wherever you're at, and people just being really friendly. Now, does that mean that everybody here is super nice and never going to be mean and not have road rage? Of course not. But a lot of people here, I do think overall, are very friendly and very welcoming. And it just kind of makes you feel comfortable when you're not even at your house, but again, at the stores and restaurants and things. Number three is the values. Generally speaking, Oklahoma as a whole tends to hold to fairly conservative values. And so for a lot of people, they like that. They like the inherent values within the government, within the legislation, within the representation of the state. And so again, that's not for everybody, but for a lot of people, they enjoy that and they like that about Oklahoma and those specific values that the state as a whole has historically held. Number four is the seasons. Some parts of California I know are different, but overall, I would say that Oklahoma has 4 seasons. Every season is not separated, by 3 perfect months. For the most part, you do see kind of the warming, the cooling, the cold, the hot. You get to see that change. You get to see, some change in the leaves and the budding of the trees. For a lot of people in California, they might not feel those true seasons the way that you might be able to here in Oklahoma, especially kind of in the winter time, getting to have that cozy, cold feeling, when it's cold and there's snow outside. Number 5, and this is not necessarily something specific to Oklahoma, but some people move here because they have family here. And that's one thing that I think a lot of people need to realize is not everybody is just moving for cheaper housing. There's a lot of reasons why people are moving, and one of those reasons is family. Maybe they have family that live here in Oklahoma and they want to be closer to family, or they're just looking at their family as a whole and thinking about the growth and the possibilities that their family is going to have here in Oklahoma. And so family is one of the reasons I get a lot. For one reason or another, they want to move their family here. They have family here. And so family is a big aspect for a lot of people. 6 is work. Some people have to move here because of their work. Some people are getting relocated. Some people are in the military. There's just all sorts of cases why people need to move here to Oklahoma. And a lot of it is because of their work. We have Tinker Air Force Base here. I've met people that have moved from California here because that's where the military stationed them. There's other jobs that people move here for their work. FedEx has been another one that I've heard. Some people move and they get to work from home, which is really convenient for them. But sometimes they're moving from places and their work moves them here. And so that's one reason. That may not be necessarily a reason why you need to move, but for some people that is a reason. And just know that a lot of people that move here because of work, they end up liking it. It's not so bad. Number 7 is the things to do. Obviously, when you're looking at California, there is a lot to do. You have different major areas, Sacramento, San Diego, Los Angeles. You've got all these different places. You've got the beach. You've got some beautiful scenery. But I will say that Oklahoma has its things as well. You have an NBA team who, at the time I'm recording this, is doing quite well. And so you've got things like that. You've got fun parks, and you've got lakes, and you've got things to go do. You've got places to eat. You've got things to go shopping. You know, when you're comparing apples to apples, I just don't think you can. But I think a lot of people, when they move to Oklahoma, they like the stuff that you're able to do here in Oklahoma versus maybe what they were seeing in California. And also, this is just kind of a tidbit, the traffic, being able to do those things, not having to wait in traffic for hours and hours, I think is another big pro for a lot of people. Number 8 is the central location. California is on the West Coast. Can't get much farther west than when you're in California. Here in Oklahoma, you're pretty central. And so, you know, I've talked to a lot of people who like Oklahoma for that reason, because if they have family on the West Coast, if they have family on the East Coast, Oklahoma's a lot closer to one, you know, it's not so far from one. You're able to be, you know, close to both of them without being so far from one of them. I know a lot of people just like that as they like to travel. It allows for road trips a little bit easier. You don't necessarily have to fly as many places. And it's, again, some of those places are still pretty far, but you're able to get there sooner. Flights are typically shorter, and you're able to travel a little bit easier when you're more centrally located. And another little tidbit I'll throw in is the Oklahoma City Airport, which is where I fly out of when I'm flying, is by far my favorite airport that I have ever flown into, out of. It is small. However, there's still a lot of airlines that leave from there. The security lines are always super fast, super efficient. Don't usually wait longer than 10 minutes. Gates are easy to find. There's no big terminals. When I have flown out of LAX before, it is just night and day difference from when we leave Oklahoma and get into LAX. And that's just kind of a small tidbit, and maybe that's not going to make you move because of one airport, but I will say that the airport in Oklahoma City is 10 out of 10. Number 9 is the cost of living. Looking at those things, and I'm not even getting to housing yet, but kind of those everyday things, restaurants, gas, you're looking at going to the store and just buying certain things. People find typically that those things are cheaper here in Oklahoma, which, again, kind of looking at the whole cost of living makes it more affordable. And that brings me to number 10, which is the number one reason why people are moving from California to Oklahoma, and that is the housing prices. The clients that I have worked with, some are selling their houses in California and buying for less than half what they're selling for, getting larger lots, getting just as much, if not more space. They would be paying double in California than what they're paying here. I've worked with people who have never been able to buy a house in California just because of the reality that it's so expensive to enter the market. And again, here they're moving, they're able to buy houses, their first homes. So for so many people, Oklahoma allows them the opportunity to build their wealth through the housing market, through real estate, being able to build up that equity and being able to enter the market so much more easily than being out in California and those really high housing prices. So there you have it. There's 10 reasons plus a couple bonuses in there of why I see people moving from California to Oklahoma. Maybe you're asking the question, should I move? Is this the right move for me? Is this the right move for my family? And if you're not quite sure, I'd love to be able to talk you through some of your questions, maybe help answer that I didn't answer in this video, and kind of just talk through, again, those things that you're concerned about. So feel free to reach out to me. I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.